Thank you so much, Kim. We're going to see a pretty decent weekend, although there's some shower potential on Sunday. But for the time being, it's glorious out there. At Nathan Phillips Square, we find Kevin at the Jazz Festival. Great stuff. There's something about jazz and the city. They just go together, don't they? We have high pressure in place, looking great for today through Saturday. Sunday becomes a little bit more of a question of the cloud cover and the potential for some showers. It's all because of this approaching low pressure system. Initially a warm front, then we'll be in the warm sector of the low and possibly some storms next week. And while you're online at theweathernetwork.com, you can check out lots more top 5 lists as well as some really great articles. But right now, I am jealous of Kasha, and I think you'll see why. Take a look.
This is the taste of summer. This is a Canada Day long weekend tradition, though it feels like the 30s. Back to you inside, but this is hot. This is hotter.
So you see my point, right? Why I'm jealous. A, the weather, but B, the ribs. Little do you know, I could probably eat a whole rack. Let's take a look at high pressure in place today. That's way too much information. Today and tomorrow, high pressure in place. We do see a low pressure system arriving. Initially, the warm front will be a weather maker, and then we will possibly be seeing some thunderstorms next week as the heat builds. Your more top 5s are online at theweathernetwork.com if you want to peruse that gallery and check out some other articles on there as well. You know, Kasha Badurka is very talented. We all know that. But I think this will just blow your mind.
It's 500 degrees Celsius. Oh, that's how hot this grill is here. Where are the norms? So I'm going to send it to you inside with that info while I enjoy these ribs. Yeah.
It looks so good. So she does it all. She's tornado coverage and then cooking some good old-fashioned ribs. Great stuff, Kasha. Let's take a look at our short-term forecast. Today, for the most part, is pretty decent, but we will have an approaching low-pressure system. So by the end of the weekend, the warm front may result in the beginning of some weather. And then we get into the warm sector of this low by the time we get to the early part of next week. Potential for storms and increased humidity. That's really going to be the biggest story for us as we head into early next week. Tomorrow, fantastic. There you have it, looking into Monday and then Tuesday. Of course, this is Canada Day now. This is going to be very interesting. This may be overblown. We're definitely watching this closely, but of course in the nation's capital for Canada Day festivities, we don't necessarily want to see so much weather around the region. So definitely watching that closely, and I hope you will too. We look ahead here to Toronto, and Tuesday has a thunderstorm icon on it. Thank you so much, Kim. Hope you have some really great plans ahead for the weekend. Some people are calling it somewhat of a long weekend if you have Monday off, but irregardless, we do have some pretty decent weather ahead of us today and tomorrow. Perfect timing for the Jazz Festival, which is where we find Kevin. I love it. I love jazz. I love lots of different kinds of music. But looking at the weather, yeah, it's great stuff today. Nathan Phillips Square and all across southern and northeastern Ontario. Great weather. But there is a low pressure system coming in. That is going to be what changes the pattern up for us by next week. We will see building humidity, no question. We're going to see values feeling like in the high 30s by the time we get to next week. But the potential for some storms is with us too. Well, we have some interesting changes coming up in the forecast for early part of next week. Tuesday, of course, is Canada Day, and it potentially could be some stormy weather with us. But for the time being, today, tomorrow, looking great, a great start to the weekend. There's the low pressure system in question. The warm front initially, more so on Sunday with the potential for some weather, and then we get into the warm sector of the low. So now jumping ahead to Sunday, Monday will be in the warm sector, possibly some air mass thunderstorms, and then Tuesday would be the day that we'll see a cold front sweeping through. With that cold front being a triggering mechanism against hot, humid air, I think you know what I mean. We could be talking about some thunderstorms in Toronto, in the nation's capital, just in time for Canada Day festivities, and Montreal too. So we'll be watching that closely, looking at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Humidex readings. Wow, really high, getting up into the high 30s. So it's going to be hot. We have Kim coming up with great videos.